I'm Marci.
And I'm Noah.
We grew up watching Disney Channel, and every few months, a new Disney Channel original movie, or DCOM, would be released.
Since we were kids, we would love to spend those nights getting snacks and enjoying sometimes relatable movies on our favorite channel.
Well, we're not really kids anymore, but we decided we wanted to revisit our younger selves by rewatching all 110 DCOMs, and we want you to join us for the nostalgia.
So every Friday, we're sharing our thoughts and feelings on the DCOM of the week. So join us, the DCOM kids, as we recap You Wish. Nicely
Beautiful.
done.
Yes. Once I remembered my words.
That's okay, it only takes a
It's
couple times to
fantastic.
get the lines down, but
Yeah.
we are actors. Using my downstage hand to gesture, of course, because
Of course. 'Cause
nothing
that's
like
the
blocking
side
my face. Apparently I have to take my headphones off to get these on.
Every time, man. Every time.
I thought I could do it, but it was like, it wasn't, I don't know, it was caught on something over here. But
Yeah.
anyway, welcome to DCOM Kids, everybody.
Welcome.
As we mentioned in the intro, we rewatched You Wish.
Mhm.
And I always am like, I'm going to do better and watch the movie earlier, not right before we film. And I think today is one of the worst ones because I
Mhm.
literally watched it. We finished watching it 5 minutes ago.
5, yeah.
Ish, give
Roughly.
or take.
Roughly, yeah.
I finished watching it.
Yeah.
And Marci had already watched it, but it's
Yeah.
fine.
It's all good. No
We
worries.
here enjoying ourselves. And so we're going to share some information about You Wish. You Wish was released in 2003, and it was rewritten. It was written by Christopher Reed, Cynthia Clare, and Jackie French Kohler.
Beautiful. Starting our cast off, we have Lelaine, who played Abby.
There we go. And then AJ
Trouth.
Trouth played Alex Lansing.
Spencer Breslin, who played Stevie Lansing.
Tim Reed played Larry
Pendragon.
Pendragon. Thank you. Oh, and that's still on you. Hi, how are you? That was my line, but it's okay.
It's all good. Jay Ryan, who played Charles.
Peter Finley played Dave Lansing.
Ari Boyland played James Cooper.
And Josh, oh boy,
Lays.
Lays, I suppose. That's sure. Josh Lays played Gary,
Emma Lahana played Fiona.
and Sally Stockwell played Pam Lansing. Oh, go ahead. No, yeah.
You're It was directed by Paul Hohen.
It was composed by Richard Marvin,
Cinematography by Donald Duncan.
and it was edited by Deborah Light and Terry Stokes. Both Terry Stokes and Paul Hohen are returning from several other DCOMs.
Several others.
They are becoming
Quite
the regulars,
the
I would
regulars,
suppose.
yes. Yeah. The known names.
The known names, yes. They're becoming, like, I hear the name Terry Stokes, and I'm like, I know who that
I
is.
know. Yes. They're becoming quite familiar.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. If you begin speaking, then I
Mhm.
am in charge of the Disney Plus summary this time
Yes.
around. So here we go. Alex Lansing often imagines how different life would be if his brother Stevie weren't around. After receiving a magical coin that grants him a wish, an upset Alex wishes he didn't have a little brother. The next morning, he wakes up to a whole new world. He's athletic, wealthy, and even has a popular girlfriend. Despite the perks of popularity, Alex comes to realize that his new life just isn't as great without his brother.
That's a pretty good one.
That is a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Without giving away too much of the actual plot,
Yeah.
but also not making you wonder if this is actually the movie we're watching.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
What was the one that was it last? The Ring of
was
Endless
Ring of
Light, where we're
Endless
like, are
Light.
we watching the same movie
Yeah.
you watched?
Right. They were like, just shove as much tiny information as possible
Exactly.
into this short sentence. And it was short,
and blur
too.
the lines. Yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
and blur the lines.
Yeah. Dang.
All right.
All right.
Anything you would like to say about this movie before we jump into our scene by scene? I don't usually do that, but I'm feeling different today.
I feel like we got through all of that pretty fast. So,
Yeah.
Um.
And
This-
I am recording. That's important.
This was one of my favorite movies growing up. I know I say that a lot about the Disney
I
Channel.
mean, that's the
about
whole
the
point of
DCOMs,
this
but, like, the
podcast,
whole-
isn't
yeah.
it?
It's like this was our whole childhood. Like,
yeah.
but all of our growing came from these. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Right on. Well, you start off with our scene by scene here, so I will leave the camera as it is and
All right.
go for it.
All right, we start this one off with an epic mission with secret code names Dogman and Rabbit's Foot, and are thrown in some and we throw in some cool walkie-talkies for a realistic audio moment. And we see two brothers, Alex and Stevie Lansing, and their friends Abby and James playing a game of what I would like to call extreme hide and seek. Later we learn it's Slime Wars. With their water guns filled with some kind of blue gunk, slime. Alex and Stevie are hiding behind a tree after losing track of the others, and just as they peek around to look for them, boom, Abby and James pop out and spray them.
Once they get home, their parents tell them to clean up so they can go to a pet adoption fair and get a pet. And the brothers jokingly go back and forth with dog, rabbit, dog, rabbit, dog, rabbit. Once they are at the adoption fair, Alex jokes with Stevie, saying, "Sorry, they don't have any rabbits here," and then finds a super cute French bulldog. But when he goes to tell his parents, Stevie screams, "No, this is way cooler!" And the next thing you know, the Lansing family has a pet turkey.
While the boys are walking the turkey home, they run into some of Alex's classmates who are making fun of the turkey. And after Alex sends Stevie home ahead of him, the classmates/jocks decide to give Alex a reward for being so brave, and they smash a pizza onto his head and walk away laughing. This is my first side note.
Take it.
But why do they hate him so much when they're supposed to be on the same team?
Because he's a loser in 2003, and that is unacceptable.
But he's on the team with them.
But he's a bench warmer, and he never plays, and he clearly sucks.
But he does play.
But he sucks, though.
It's still annoying.
He's a loser.
Okay.
And being a loser in 2003 is unacceptable.
I was
going
to
to say you should know that, but that was going to sound not the way I meant it.
You should know as a former loser.
Obviously, in your experience.
As a loser, you should know. As a 7-year-old loser, you should know.
Oops, anywho, so let's just slide on past that. So what happens next is we get thrown into a quick narration by Alex, my favorite part of 2000s movies. And we see that the first time Alex meets Stevie and is instantly projectile vomited on. Impressive, I might add. Then he is about to make his first basket on film, but their dad gets distracted by Stevie taking his first steps. Kind of anyway. Thank you.
Because his mom's holding his hands.
Yeah, it's not really first steps there. And my thing jumped down a little bit. I gotta find it again, but it's okay. Because what happens is later, while Alex is complaining to his parents about how Stevie always gets his way, he quickly realizes that Stevie isn't with them, and quickly...
Sorry.
It's okay. And rapidly leaves the living room to go find him. It's one of those things. This is like one of those writing things for me. Is I try not to use the same word.
I was trying not to.
I will, but what made it stand out to me specifically then is that they're stacked on top of each other. In the notes. It's literally says quickly and then quickly, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I didn't even realize I used quickly twice.
It's
in
okay.
one sentence there.
It's fine.
My bad.
But anyway, he rapidly leaves the room to go and fight him.
After finding Stevie in Alex's bedroom, he lays down some rules, to which Stevie screams, "Ow, Dad, Alex is hurting me." And after getting the disapproving look from his dad, Alex bans Stevie from his room for 2 weeks. But later that night, while he's watching a movie in his room, Stevie crawls to the door and Alex lets him into his room to watch with him. Later the next morning, we see the family eating breakfast, and their dad informs Alex that he will be late to the game. When Alex goes to check on Stevie and make sure he won't embarrass him at the game, he finds him standing behind a laundry basket. When he asks why, Stevie steps to the side, revealing he is wearing Alex's skates. One of the many things he's not supposed to be touching.
After chasing Stevie downstairs, their mom informs Alex that he has to babysit next Saturday. But he says he can't because he's going to the mall with James. So she tells him to take Stevie with him. Next, while Alex is complaining to James about how Stevie is ruining his life, James reminds him of the time he ran out of class because he heard a kid fell into the fountain, and he was worried that it was Stevie, showing that he really does care about his brother.
Later, while at the game, Alex is sitting on the bench when one of the popular cheerleaders, Fiona, comes over to him and starts making fun of him over the sign that Stevie has made for him and is chanting, "Go, Alex, go." But karma really gets her back when not even 10 seconds later, while Alex is making his way to the field, he backs into her and she falls face first into a pile of mud. Once the ball is thrown to Alex, a bigger player tackles him almost instantly, and of course, everyone is mad at him. And I don't even know if they won or lost.
That was unclear.
They're just mad at him.
That was unclear. Next, we see Abby trying to cheer Alex up, but he gets distracted by Fiona, the cheerleader he accidentally pushed into the mud. And we get a glimpse into Alex's crush on Fiona and Abby's crush on Alex. Then later at the mall, we see Alex and James in the rocket elevator, which is probably one of my favorite things in this movie. It's
one of the coolest things.
Super cool. I want to go to that mall. But apparently, we'll talk about this later, I guess, but apparently it's New Zealand, so maybe not. But what happens is they're in the rocket elevator, and they have an armful of fries and $5 in quarters. While Stevie is sitting on a bench just outside of Coin World, we see Larry slip on a French fry and start to fall. But Stevie runs over to catch him before he gets hurt. He kind of didn't really catch him. He kind of just acted as a cushion for him to fall on. Same thing.
Once Alex and James get to Stevie, they seat him on the bench to eat his fries and wait for Alex to look at the coins. Once he's done, they'll go to the arcade. While Alex and James go into Coin World, Larry gives Stevie a coin that is good for one wish, and he tells him to use it for something big. Then, once Stevie finishes all of his fries, he gets tired of waiting for Alex and James to finish looking at the coins and decides he's going to go to the arcade without them. And off he goes. Then Larry informs the guys that he needs to close up, and Alex realizes how long they've been in the store and that Stevie is no longer on the bench, which puts us into a montage of Alex running through the mall looking for Stevie and Stevie walking through trying to find Alex, and just missing each other each time. And then it finishes with Stevie asking a mall officer to call his mom.
Next, we see Alex getting grounded for, quote, losing Stevie. And Stevie's only punishment for running off is no TV for a day. Later, we see Alex in his room reading when we hear a knock at the door and a note slid under. From Stevie apologizing and giving Alex the coin from Larry, that's good for one wish. To which Alex says, "I wish I didn't have a little brother," and tosses the coin onto his nightstand and then goes to bed.
The next morning, we hear an alarm clock go off and Alex waking up to drool falling on his face. When he jumps out of bed, he's looking around at how different his room is. Now he has trophies all around, and he is a star football player. His house is blue, and they have a game room instead of a living room. While confronting his parents about where Stevie is and what is happening, they have no idea what he's talking about. And then he realizes the coin has worked. He is an only child, and Stevie is now a star. Terrence Russell McCormick.
Next, we see Alex arriving at school, and he is one of the popular guys. Everyone knows him, and Fiona is his girlfriend, and he can't believe this is his life now. Then he's running into class and sits next to Abby, who couldn't care less that he is talking to her. He is quickly reminded that he is not her friend anymore, and he is in the wrong seat. So he walks to the front, trying to figure out where he's supposed to be sitting, and Fiona snaps her finger and points to an empty chair next to her. He does some fancy cartwheel over a desk and into his seat. Honestly, I missed that moment. I don't know how. I must have got up and done something.
No, that was like where you picked up in when I first got here.
Oh, okay. I totally missed
right
the
where
cartwheel.
You picked up. Yeah.
Anyway.
Anywho. Later that day, we see the football team gathered in the locker room getting ready for the game, and we learn that Alex is the quarterback of the team. Then, just as the game is starting, we see Alex and the team in a huddle, and the first play? I don't know what it's called. First play. And Alex is instantly tackled. And while on the bench for a few minutes, his dad comes over and gives him a pep talk, reminding him to not let the big guy psych him out. And he gets back into the game, and we go into montage number 2 of the football game, and the team wins.
Because as I mentioned to you while we were watching this, all he needed to know was that he has attended football camp, and suddenly he knows how to be a quarterback.
He knows how to be a quarterback.
When he couldn't even be a running back 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, later at the after party, Alex and Fiona are dancing when he sees Abby walk in, and we hear the jocks chanting, "Chicken boy, chicken boy." There's a lot of chanting in this movie.
There's a lot of chanting.
And they go and they get Alex to see what's going on. When he walks past Abby, he just casually says, "Hey, Abs," and continues on. Then the jocks open the pizza box and tell Alex it's his turn. But when Alex sees it's James, he freezes. And so another one of the jocks grabs the pizza and smashes it into James's head, and he runs out of the house.
These guys are the worst.
They are. They really
I
are the
hate them
worst.
so much. The next day, we see Alex finding James in the library and attempts to apologize, but James wants nothing to do with him and swiftly leaves. But Alex follows him out, telling him about a rare coin collection he wants to show him. But again, James wants nothing to do with him. Once they're outside, Fiona confronts him about talking to Abby at the party and now talking to James, and tells him it's making them look like losers. No offense to James, who's standing right there.
Later at lunch, Alex sits with Abby, but she thinks it's some kind of joke. And after he calls her Abs one too many times, she pours milk all over his head and walks away. Making this the third food and or liquid item AJ has had in his hair since the start of the movie. Later that night, we see Alex in his room, cutting out a picture of Stevie from a magazine and looking through his coin collection, when his dad walks in to check on him. But once he leaves, Alex finishes cutting out the picture, and then we cut to our third montage of Alex going through life without Stevie around, and living in the limelight, ending with a commercial of Terrence, Stevie, and Alex in the mall, and we see Larry in a wheelchair after falling outside of a shop because Stevie wasn't there to catch him.
Next, we see Alex buying 3 raffle tickets from Abby, but after being dissed by her, he asks why she's even talking to him. And then the rest of the jocks show up and take him away. The next morning, Alex runs out of his room excited for funny pancakes, but is surprised when his parents are getting ready to leave for a big 10th anniversary thing for the firm. And they tell him they'll meet him for the athletic award at the school. And just before they leave, his mom asks him to bring down a box of old toys from the attic to give away.
I was going to say something, but I can't remember. Oh, we kind of glazed over another time where they were chanting again when they're smashing the cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
So stupid. Dude. So much chanting. That night, we are at the athletic awards ceremony, and we see Alex receiving his award and giving an unusual speech, reminding people to appreciate what they've got because one day it might not be there, and you're really going to miss it. Then back at home, Alex is trying to find a way to get his old life with Stevie back, and he sees that Terrence will be in town to film his show. And of course, he goes to the lot to try and find him. While trying to sneak onto the set, he runs into James, literally, and ends up dropping the chicken on the ground. So Alex gives him the money for the chicken to James, and James gives him his uniform and the chicken bucket.
This is where I messed up. This will be the next time he has something in his hair.
Got you.
Poor AJ. So Alex makes his way onto the set and finds Terrence, Stevie, in his dressing room rehearsing his lines. While in his dressing room, Terrence asks Alex to stay for a minute, and he tries some magic tricks. And Alex asks if he likes his life and his family. And then we meet Zoe, Terrence's baby wrangler, as he calls her. And she tells him that he will be playing a regular kid in his next show/movie. She just said script.
Yeah. I'm assuming it was a movie. But
Yeah. But he doesn't know how to be an ordinary kid. And Alex tells him he can help show him. But Terrence refuses, saying he has to go back to LA tomorrow. So Alex goes on to tell him about how he had more fun as his brother. He was teaching him how to throw a spiral. He drove him crazy. He had to kick him out of his room a lot. But they also played games, to which Terrence screams for security, and they kick Alex out.
And we start our fourth montage of Alex walking through the city, thinking about all of his memories with Stevie, Abby, James. Oh my gosh, I can read. Okay, I'm going to start over.
I was going to say, my punctuation's not that bad in this one.
No, it's my eyes not following right. And we start our fourth montage of Alex walking through the city, thinking about all of his memories with Stevie, Abby, and James, playing Slime Wars and just being friends. Then we see Terrence Stevie in his limo throwing paper airplanes at his driver, Ron, when he sees Alex walking down the street and has Ron pull over and convinces him to slowly follow as Alex walks with Stevie. Then, while they're walking, Alex decides they're going to make a run for it, and he and Terrence Stevie book it and run from Ron.
While they're running, they pass a coin-operated space ride thing, and Terrence Stevie stops and asks for a quarter so he can ride it. Something he's always wanted to do, but no one ever let him.
How sad is that?
Right? I do have to admit, I had to Google what it was called. I was like, what is this ride machine thing called? And it's like coin operated. I was like, that's the word I was looking for. Then, like a light bulb, Alex realizes that Larry must still have the wishing coin, since Stevie wasn't there for him to give it to when he fell. But when they get to the mall, they see that Coin World has gone out of business. And Alex remembers that Larry bought a raffle ticket. I almost said waffle. So sorry.
A waffle ticket. Yummy.
Bought a raffle ticket from Abby, and they rush to her house for some help.
Once they get to Abby's, Alex tells her that his speech at the awards was true. How he wished his little brother was gone, and poof, he was. And Abby doesn't believe him. So, trying to convince her, he tells her things that only a best friend would know. Like, she once cried because her sister told her Abby meant abnormal, and that she's afraid of parrots, clowns, and falling space junk. But she can't believe it. But Alex needs her help to find Larry's address so they can get the coin and he can wish for his old life back.
While they're looking through all of the raffle tickets, Abby is telling a story of a guy that was found in Georgia wearing an old Civil War uniform, and he didn't know anything about cars or telephones or anything modern. And they put him in a hospital and gave him coloring books. And Terrence Stevie chimes in with, "One time I had an agent who spontaneously combusted."
Wild.
And then Abby asks Alex what her cat's name is, and he answers, I'm going to mess this up, Mr. Terwillinger.
Yes.
Sure. But she calls him Twix.
Which is much easier to say.
Yes. And then she continues quizzing him, to which he answers correctly. And then Terrence Stevie finds the golden ticket. Just kidding. He finds Larry Pendragon. But just as they're about to leave, they try to find a disguise for Terrence Stevie, which is just a fuzzy snow hat, and they're off.
Oh, my phone is lagging a little. There we go. Once they make it to the address on the ticket, there is no one there, and they hear a door upstairs open, and an older lady asks, "Who's there?" And Abby asks where Larry is. They find out he moved, and Alex leans his head against the door, which was just painted, making it yet another thing AJ has had in his hair since this movie started. He has moved to Sunnyvale Retirement Manor. So away they go. While riding the trolley, we see Alex and Abby watching Terrence Stevie walk from seat to seat and ringing the bell, just exploring like a regular kid. Then
Abby asks if Fiona was his girlfriend in his other life, And he said the closest he had to a girlfriend was Abby. And she asks if they're any different in the alternate timeline, to which he responds with no, but this version of him is a jerk. Then we see them at the manor, hiding behind a tree as a police car drives by, obviously looking for Terrence Stevie. And he tells them if they go to jail, they can use his lawyer. Once inside, they find Larry and he takes them to his room with all of the coins he has left from selling his business, but to no avail. And they take Abby home, and as Alex and Terrence Stevie walk away, they're stopped by the police and are taken back to Alex's house.
The next morning, we see Alex lying in bed watching TV and everything that has to do with his brothers and siblings.
And seeing everything that has to do with brothers and siblings.
Oh, okay. And seeing that everything has to do with brothers and siblings. Then his dad walks in, asking if he wants to go to brunch with Judge Harley and his mom and dad. But Alex says he's not feeling well, and his dad gives him a gift that he was waiting to give him for his birthday, a box of coins he got at a closeout sale. Once his dad leaves, Alex throws the box of coins at his desk, and they all scatter. But one lands standing on end, and it was the wishing coin.
So,
although, hold on. There's no way that coin would have stayed standing up like that. Do you see how rounded the edges were? That was physically impossible. Yeah. Wild.
It's anyway, a magic coin.
It is a magic coin, but anyway. I was going to say, do magic coins defeat the laws of physics?
Yes.
Obviously, because they deleted Stevie.
So, Alex grabs the coin and locks his door, keeping his parents out, and makes his wish. I wish I never made the first wish. And just like that, time rewinds and he is back to his old life. And he runs outside to find Stevie. And then Abby and James walk over. And Alex asks Abby to go skating. Just the two of them. Aww. And then they all go inside for funny pancakes. Then we conclude our story with Abby and Alex teaching Stevie how to skate. And with a little help from the wishing coin, Stevie jumps a bench and turns into an awesome skater.
The end. Or is it the beginning? Classic. I really wanted to rewrite that and force you to say something else, but only slightly different, because my brain, every time I read the end or anytime it's like that, my brain goes to Spaceship Earth.
That's what I was going for.
And I want to be like, the end. Or should we say the beginning of your future?
That's what I was going for, but I couldn't remember the exact.
It.
I couldn't remember the exact wording. It's been.
You haven't been in a minute.
I haven't been in 4 years.
I haven't been in 4 weeks, and that's a lot.
Yeah. I'm really hoping to go in September, but
that's funny. 4 weeks. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. Anywho.
And you get to go to Disneyland soon.
I am going to Disneyland literally a week and a half.
I know.
A week from... not a week from today. I'll be here a week from today. A week and 3 days. 4 days. Because it's a Tuesday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Right? 27th, 28th.
Leaving on the 27th.
Yeah. Which is Tuesday?
It's a week from Tuesday.
Yeah. But there's no Spaceship Earth there, so.
That's true. I'm so jealous.
Okay, this is like the whole thing with the coin, honestly.
Yes.
Little bit of a brain teaser, okay?
Okay.
It's a little paradoxy. The coin is good for one wish.
Yes.
Right? The coin exists in all 3 eventual dimensions.
Yes.
Was the coin it's a mind messer upper because he makes the wish, right?
Yes.
So the coin's wish was used.
Yes.
But in the new reality, there was no wish.
Yes.
So then the coin's wish wasn't used.
Yes.
So he uses the coin to unwish the first wish.
Yes.
Which is 2 wishes.
And then Stevie uses it.
And then Stevie uses it to become an awesome skater. That wish that is good for that coin that is good for one wish has granted 3 wishes.
Yes.
But in alternate timelines. So
yes. So I think it's technically
Well, because when he makes
Three
this,
different
it's
coins.
weird because when he makes the second wish,
Mm-hmm.
he says, "I wish I had never made the first wish." So that undoes the first wish. So,
Right.
So it's only
So
it's only granted 2 wishes, I guess.
Yes.
Because it granted the undoing wish, but the undoing wish never happened because he never made the wish. Paradoxal.
I hate that so much.
I was literally, as soon as the movie ended, that was all I could think about
You went.
until we got here, and I'm like, I'm gonna figure out a way to piece it together, and I still haven't. But it is what it is.
It's magic, and you can't piece magic together.
You're right. That's the way to sum it up. It's magic, and it lies. Magic lies. That's how you know it's magic.
That's how you know it's magic.
Right on. Well, what was your favorite scene? Do you have one?
Oh, I'm not gonna say the whole movie.
You freaking better not.
Because there were lots of parts where I was like, bro. Anytime the jocks were on, I was like, you're so annoying.
See, this would be the time to bring back the least favorite scene.
You're so annoying.
But I'm not going to because I'll have to get rid of it again.
Yes. So my favorite scene is probably when they're like towards the end when they're on the train going to the manor. And it's like they're just like watching in this timeline Terrence, who's never been an ordinary kid, just like exploring the world that he's never been allowed to see.
I feel that. That's pretty.
And they're
that's
just
pretty
like, they're like, look at him. He's just a happy kid right now. Yeah.
Just a happy guy.
Yeah.
Nice. I would think one of my favorite scenes is the mall sequence.
Yeah.
Just because I like the mall. I think the mall looks really cool.
Yeah.
I don't think it's my favorite scene, I guess, but it's one of my favorite scenes.
That's
I just
cool.
wanted to mention that elevator again because that rocket elevator is freaking sick.
The rocket elevator is so cool.
Favorite scene.
Also, like, it's such a big mall.
Yeah.
Like,
it put me in mind of Mall of America.
I've never been to Mall of America, so I don't know.
It's a big mall.
But it's just like a lot of these 2000 movies are like multi-level places that they go. Like in True Confessions, it's a multi-level library.
That library is massive.
In Phantom of the Megaplex, it's a multi-level movie theater.
Yeah, that's a
good
point.
And then I think even in Get a Clue, they didn't go. No.
They were in an apartment. That's multi-level.
That's multi-level. Their school was multi-level.
Yes, their school was multi-level.
So many,
and then the hotel
levels.
that they were in, granted, they're only on the first. Do they go upstairs?
Technically, they go up and down during the Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, the Scooby-Doo chase. Yeah, you're right.
And then this one, there's like a multi-level mall. I'm like,
pretty sick.
I think the Flatirons Mall
is so tiny.
Compared to this. And because it's only 2 levels.
It's like one of those things. Like maybe the Flatirons takes up more footprint. Like
maybe
physically the footprint is bigger.
Yeah.
But it's smaller because square footage wise is way less.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I have a favorite scene, really.
That's okay.
I was trying to dig one out. Oh, I do actually really like when he wakes up after wishing Stevie was gone and seeing like his bedroom is the way that I always imagined my bedroom would be if I was a little child, you know. And I also really like that the doors, every door and all the cabinets, everything is blue. Yeah. And I'm like, that's such a random choice. But mom and dad are super rich because since they didn't have Stevie they became lawyers.
Yes. That's the whole point of it, I guess.
I get it, but it's like,
but like,
what exactly was it about Stevie being born that took that away from them?
Took up all the attention.
Sounds like a problem. Not a problem, but
like
you know
a
what
personal,
I mean. Because clearly, if Stevie was never born, they never would have had that same attention given to Alex.
Right. I don't know.
I'm just saying. I'm calling BS on that. Yeah. But anyway,
I didn't like how they Stevie's 10, right? Yeah, and they're like, he's just a little kid, cut him some slack. And I was like, he's not that little though.
Yeah. And you also mentioned to me that you didn't like that they kept calling him the kid when they were talking when he was Terrence.
When he was Terrence, they're like, it's the kid. Yeah. The kid. They don't call him Terrence. Like it's like he's not a real person to them.
I mean, he wasn't though. Like we got to meet when we got to like interact with him in the movie. Yeah. Like you learned that he wasn't. He wasn't. He wasn't a person. He was just a TV star, a money maker that barely existed outside of the TV area, which is super depressing. Yeah. And I really, really hate that is like, unfortunately, something that happens.
Yeah. And I feel like child stars back then is how it was.
Right.
Like,
And it's one of those things like you're like, Disney, are you shining a light on your own self, or was Spencer Breslin treated better? Because he better have been. This
Yeah.
kid better have had a life.
I think he did.
I would imagine
to
he
think
did
so.
because it would be
Yeah.
wild for Disney
Yeah.
to be like, yeah, this kid in this movie's all like this, and they're like, is that what's his real life like? Like,
Not
no,
too far
basically we
out.
just filmed him
We just filmed him on set.
on the daily. That was just him.
That would suck.
Yeah, that would. Okay, rating out of 5 stars. I have a stipulation after you give yours, but
You start, because I've been starting.
that's a good point. I like to override you. It's more fun. I guess I would give it probably a 4.5, maybe 5.
Okay, that's what I was going to give
I'm
it.
sitting around 4.5.
Yeah, I was going to say 4.5.
Okay, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, I'll tell you why.
And it's kind of funny, actually. And I don't think it influenced me. It might have, but the IMDb rating for this movie is 6 out of 10.
Oh.
If you
okay.
divide that in half, it's 3 out of 5 for us.
Yeah.
So it's better than IMDb is saying it is.
Yeah,
But it's not among some of the better ones.
right.
I guess
Okay.
4.5 is pretty up there, huh?
Yeah.
But it's not really because
I
our
was
scale
gonna give
is
it a
so
4 or 4.5.
our scoring is so screwed up because we
It's-
have things
yeah.
that are way off the chart.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
maybe we can give it the 4.
yeah. Xenon,
Just drop it down a
listen,
little bit.
Xenon and anything with the Lawrence brothers just throws everything off.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. I don't know.
It is. It's funny,
know.
but well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
the
I
scoring.
will say, I think I mentioned it while we were watching it, but that one scene when Fiona's like, Sarah said you were talking to Abby.
Mhm.
Like the camera angle on that.
yeah, it's like
I was like, what's
it's
the
like super
fisheye
in their
moment here? It's so weird. But it was like this is a far distance. It was like up
Yeah,
in their face.
yeah.
And I did not like that.
super weird, super
As
awkward
someone
camera
who
angle.
doesn't know much about cinematography, I did not like
It was
that.
an awkward
it was a
choice,
weird choice
in my mind, and
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a cinematographer, but I'm a videographer, which isn't that different.
It's not that far off, but like you have a better
Yeah.
eye for that.
I didn't feel like that particular framing added anything to the story.
Yeah. It didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
And it was only that one scene that they did that.
The only thing I can think is that they were trying to evoke that you are inside of these people's minds at that moment,
Maybe.
but it wasn't like you're like getting
But it
really
wasn't
close
that
and
good.
personal to it.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like it was necessary. I
Yeah.
don't think it was as effective as they were hoping it would be.
Yeah.
And no disrespect, my dear friend. Hold on, I gotta scroll back up to the top. My dear friend Donald Duncan. No disrespect.
No disrespect. I
would have
just
made a
confused.
different choice personally.
I was just confused. That's all.
Even just a nice tight headshot would have been
Mhm.
plenty. It was the fisheye
Yeah.
that
It was the
threw it off.
fisheye that threw it off for sure.
Honestly, though, probably
Yeah.
didn't need to be that tight.
Yeah.
Anyway,
She also spells losers wrong, which I think is hilarious.
it is hilarious.
But it's just like to point out. It's just their way of being like, she's a popular cheerleader. She's stupid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
But-
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Sounds good. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Next week, Marci and I are going to be rewatching Right on Track. So make sure you get that watched before you join us for next week's episode. That is based on a true story about the Ender sisters, Erica and Courtney Ender. That sounds wrong now that I'm saying it out
No,
loud,
that's
but I'm
correct.
pretty sure it's right. I'm 99% sure it's right. But they are both actually, maybe not as of today, but as of like last year, they were
Mhm.
both still active NHRA drag
Nice.
racers. And actually, I think it was like 2021. I'll have the actual fact for you in the next episode. But I believe in the last couple of years, Erica Enders had set the fastest pass at a
Mhm.
specific track in
Nice.
history. And it was like 315 miles an hour.
That's awesome.
Hauling booty.
Yeah.
But it's also starring one of my favorite actresses from when I was younger, and Beverly Mitchell. I was like, her name was literally escaped my mind as I was
Yes.
about to say it. Who was also in Seventh Heaven, which was a show that I have very fond memories of watching growing
Yes.
up. Tried to watch it again at this age, and it's maybe I'll try it again.
Mhm.
But when I tried to watch it, I was like, it's so old.
Yeah, the earlier seasons are like
It's rough. It's
hard to watch.
it's
Yeah.
it's you can tell it was an
You can
old
tell
show.
it was a 90s show.
Yeah.
The beginning, yeah.
But
for
anyway,
sure.
fabulous movie. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
And it's about racing, so
Yes.
that makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, Adriana and I will be live on Monday night with another episode of Noah Parker's World of Wonder. And if you aren't here to catch us live for that, that's okay. It'll be available on the podcasting networks the next morning at 6 a.m. Mountain Time. And, of course, Wednesday is game night. And I'm not sure exactly what we're doing yet because we decide usually day of. But it will be something. I ended up skipping game night last week because the Nuggets were playing and it was a tight game and I got kind of glued to the seat and just was like, yeah, I'm gonna not play today.
That's fair.
So maybe next week will end up being MC Parks because I am supposed to make a visit to the Universal Orlando Resort on the Minecraft server. So that may be what happens next week, but we'll find out. Yeah, make sure you follow us on our social media pages at Noah Parker's World of Wonder on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And if you are not already, make sure you head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. You can find that on youtube.com/Noah Parker_channel. That's all I got for you today. We will see you next week for Ride on Track. And until then, my dear friends, let the wonder take hold.